What's up, guys? This is Hyce, and wow, I would turn on the cat cam when the pre-stream was rolling, because both the boys are up there, and then they would both randomly decide to go slug on the floor. What else is new? Anyways, hey, we are live. It is 2/8 Tuesday today. Going to be taking a look at our model for Century of Steam today, our model of the K37 that we have been working on for a minute. If OBS will wake up and smell the coffee. Maybe. Nope. What? Where did my desktop capture go? Why? What? Oh, right. There we go. Start of stream blunder. I should have assumed that things wouldn't work. I should have pre-tested. I just rebuilt my PC today. Shout out to Wallaby from Australia. He had some DDR5 RAM kicking around that he decided to sell to me for not an absurd price, and then he proceeded to ship from Australia to me. So I have a new processor, and it did not cost me thousands of dollars to get RAM, which we love, because I was several years outdated, so it's nice, but my computer's still kind of figuring itself out, so apparently my desktop capture is not working. But anyways, welcome to 2/8 Tuesday. We're going to be taking a look at our model of the K37 for Century of Steam and talking about all sorts of things there. Lots of good progress on the model. I'm going to go through that first before I kind of get into trip catch-up things, then jumping into Discord with my teammates with Century of Steam. Since last time, goodness, I was on a rampage yesterday and the day before when I got back from Seattle. Goodness, all manner of little things, like flushing out the air compressor bracket, which is, you know, not something that you really see unless you really know. But anyway, fixing a bunch of random piping things, doing the actual pipe setup for the pilot flanger, We had the flanger cylinder and everything, but none of the piping to get to it, nor the control in the cab. So as you select, the flanger, it adds in where it can yet another valve to control things there. Let me turn off the tender for a brief second here. Tender off. Oh, well, most of the tender off. We're still working on fresh things here. Anyway, I got the lights for the water glasses put in. Let's sit on the back with their light bulbs and everything. I got the order light in above the engineer, which was a surprisingly annoying task because it has this kind of lacy, fishnetty almost guard around the outside. So that was annoying with it and its switch, and tied in the rest of the electrical. There was some more work on the cab, the cast flag bracket on the side of the cab there. For a blue flag or for your water bag or for whatever. The injector actual handle for the water valve coming into the cabin where it is, based on some reference from the 492. Goodness. So many little things all over the place. Oh yeah, the flat capped handling markers or class lamps instead of the chimney stacked ones. Yeah. Goodness, lots and lots of little details and getting there. I've been joking with people that I've gotten to the point that this locomotive looks no different than it did 4 months ago, to my girlfriend at whatsoever, and it really feels like that some days. But anyway, extra toolbox on the tender, which some of them carried. We talked about the spotlight last time, but most recently, the actual cast tender water strainers and hose connections, and then the hose connections between the engine and tender, drawbar support casting, the safety chains, the buffer, the all of the hoses for the independent brake, the automatic brake, train pipe, the drag flanger, the steam heat, all of that, and then the steam heat and drag flanger lines all the way to the back of the tender. I need some more reference from the museum. I gotta go take some pictures of exactly how the brake pipe and the brake cylinder lines run under the tender, because of course I was taking pictures when there was no cistern on it, and it was right in the middle of when my buddy Paul was repiping it. And I have pictures of the pipes and how he bent them so well, but not how they're installed and where things are mounted. So I gotta go crawl under the tender and take some pictures one of these days this week to get that done. But we are so close. I'm not gonna say it. We're close. We're close on the model itself in terms of 3D modeling, but that it's all exciting. We got a couple more things to do. We're gonna get into some of that today. What exactly we get into, we will see in just a moment here. But of course, we've got top chats and we've got trip things that happened that we need to get into as well before we take a further look at this. So let's take a look at that. First and foremost, from G Fuel Salesman, Fireman 7 months. You're back from Seattle that fast? Were you only there for a day? I was there for 5 days, 6 days. Got in on Tuesday pretty early, and I got back on Sunday midway through the day. So 5-ish, 6-ish days. It was, that's kind of my preferred trip length. Any longer than that, and it starts to be I'm too unplugged from what's going on here. If it's not like a big trip, and then any shorter, sometimes you don't get enough. So yeah. Trenny Cat, did I see the video of Ed yelling at the trespasser? Yeah, that's why I wrote that into the Torp news script right there. Yes. Yes, I did. Goodness. I don't blame Ed one bit. I really just do not. One cannot describe the feeling of being in the seat right then when somebody's out in front of you and you've got that much train and you can't do it. Like, yeah. So Ed taught that guy a lesson, quote unquote, the best he could, but, will he heed it? Who knows? So 4-3 guy made a content suggestion, but the 3751 mod is out. I saw that the day after I recorded the 4F mod. So whoever likes the 4F, enjoy that. because I probably wouldn't have made that had the 3751 mod come out one day earlier, but we'll get to that probably this coming week. Andrew Frame, so do the K-37s get cans of corn since the boilers came from the Baldwin-made C-41? No. No, they do not. Our engines don't get cans of corn. Our engines usually, well, they're particular. 20 gets bourbon. 346 used to get gin, I want to say. And 491 gets tequila. She's a tequila gal. You know, South Alamosa, the whole thing. So, yeah. But speaking of corn and Ephraim, I'm sure you never got that. Behold, ladies and gents, the bottle of George Dickel that did not get to make it to Rowdy Pierce. When I packed my bag for Mount Rainier, there was not enough space. Or there was enough space, but it was overweight. It was like 6 pounds overweight. And so I repacked some stuff, but I realized, an entire bottle of whiskeys, whatever. And George Dickel, it'll be easy enough to find, and I'll pay the liquor tax in Seattle. We were joking about liquor taxes being better in Colorado than Seattle before I went out to go see those guys. And poor Rowdy still got hit by the Seattle liquor tax. And then the funniest thing was I couldn't find the regular George Dickel. Seattle's too high rent and too fancy to have just the normal run-of-the-mill stuff. So I had to get him the bottled and bond version, which was like $50, and I know he's still mixing it. Which, hey, I'm not going to judge him how he likes to drink his whiskey, but it is mildly ironic that happened. But it means that I get to sample it. So cheers to you, Rowdy, and to the FAA for having baggage rules, I guess. I understand why he puts Sprite in his. But anyways. So that's a bit of a whole thing. But anyway. Solaris. Hey guys, how are things going? Would it be possible for once you have laid track to the edge of the map in Century Steam, you can continue the next map, set up interchange from one map to another? That would be so cool. Software-wise, that is so absurdly not even remotely possible or probable in terms of things to set up. I like where your energy's at, but that's not something that makes a lick of sense for us to set up, nor would it make sense for everyone's PCs. So, regrettably, no, but that's the way it be. The Colorado Kid, hey, Hyce, any chance Hellbot songs are available on Spotify? I was trying to look for that last song you're hopping around on during the band stream, but had no luck. Your playing is awesome, by the way. Thank you. Some of the Hellbot stuff is, spoilers, the first full Hellbot record, there will be more, as far as I'm aware, 11 tunes. It's just Hellbot by Hellbot. It's that logo, all the things. Which was a lot of the stuff we played. We played a lot of stuff that was not off that. But spoilers is now when I force y'all to watch Hellbot concert video. Probably not, but I'll at least tease it. My camera was in the back, and I had GoPros as well. I mean, I teased it during the Deer Valley video. But my camera in the back doesn't seem like it's making a lot of noise right now, and that's because I set it rolling nice and early to make sure it would get everything. And they plumbed the direct output of the board into my camera. So I have the exact live mix from the board of all the mics that went to the PA embedded into my footage, which is just fantastic. And then when I color grade things and everything, I could make it a lot brighter than it is because it was a dark club. But so we have all of the everything. It's all there. This camera recorded for all the thing. I mean, it recorded. I didn't even know I could get 2 hours and 11 minutes out of a recording time on that camera. But it ran the whole night, all the stuff. So when I can be bothered to go through and edit that all together, I will, and it will probably come up on the second channel. But anyways, glad you enjoyed the Hellbot stuff, because I sure as hell did. That was one of the best concerts I've ever played. I was expecting more comments and questions about the Mountaineer stuff than the Hellbot stuff, but you know what? I'll take it. Swag Pants, could we see 496's triple pocket with the 3-arm cut lever? I have been on the fence about including that for what it would potentially allude to. I would hate to give you something that would make you think that you could play with some standard gauge trains and do some dual gauge shenanigans, despite knowing that 491 presently wears that exact triple pocket on her. So I haven't resolved what to do there. We can address that with the council, but we'll see. Rudy Productions, 4557, excuse me, connector 6 months. Nothing like returning home from work to Burb Guy stream. Keep giving him the beans. Of course. Grinch Crafter, 1225. It schmooze. I wish a good insert time of days. Glad you got the museum images. Hope there was something interesting in there. Thank you. Much appreciated. Bob Ross, 4449. Fireman, 14 months. 14 months, very late tonight. Engine looks great. It is later than anticipated tonight because I forgot when our board meeting was. I thought it was at 6:30, and then it was at 7:30, and then we talked for a bit, and we're here now. It is what it is. But anyway, we're going to get something done on the engine. What? I'm not sure. I'll have to double check my my list, but we'll figure it out. Let's see. Glad you think the engine looks great. Matt Houston, Conductor 30 months. You got to see the big boy while it was in Altoona. Big Choo Choo's big. Tis. I hope you survived Foam-mageddon, part 57 at this point, probably. Evil Graph 775. Funny Birdman. Also, hello there. Hello there, General Kenobi. Thank you for being a Conductor 26 months. And Treewalker 93. How's the trip? Hellbot concert looked dope based off stream. Also, was Sets Up the only engine you tried squeezing into at Matt Rainier? Trip was great. Matt Rainier was great. The people at Matt Rainier are great. I'm so excited for our podcast episode to come out and everything. God, that was a lot of fun. Yes, Sets Up was the only thing I tried to squeeze into at Matt Rainier. There was not any other. It was literally like, hey, can we go do this? This guy asked. I've met him. He's actually really nice. So that was, that was all for you, my good man. But it was funny. That firebox, genuinely terrible. I mean, I literally got to that point, and I'm like, I can't. No, I can't shift or shimmy or anything, and I'm like just past my knees. That's it. Itty bitty little firebox, terrible. Chris got all the way in to prove that it could be could be done before I went, even tried. But what are you gonna do? So. Yeah, no, Matt Rainier is great. I don't have most of the footage because they had a production team that filmed, everything, which was excellent, and they were funny and wonderful people. I have a couple pieces of thing. My GoPros were running, This one, for whatever reason, one of my GoPros or one of my media mods is not happy about recording audio, so it just won't record audio. But trains, stuff, oil fire, things. Oh, wait, why am I in the seat? What happened? Anyways, Nate was lovely and a fantastic teacher, by the way. And Rowdy and Bethan have every reason to be as proud of him and Chris as they should with the way that engine turned out and everything. And they were just a delight. So that's all spoilers. One of these is actually... Oh, no, we can't reveal that yet. That clip is too important. Let's see. It's probably going to be this one then. Yeah. I was going to say one of these actually recorded audio. And thankfully it was the one that had my lav mics, but... Yeah. Just the slightest haze on the stack. Spoilers. It was not terrible. Very good time. Love the people out there. They were just genuinely wonderful, and yeah, we had a lovely time. And yes, I see Andy is still here, so I now properly know to call him Andy. But and in case ye didn't notice, I planned this. Tell Rowdy thank you, Andy / you. I want to say it was Andy that actually picked out all of the merch for me. I was like, I'm gonna wear a Matt Rainier t-shirt while I stream tonight because they gave me so many it made my bag overweight a second time on the way back. My guitars got to cuddle with a bunch of hoodies. It was pretty funny. But anyway, So, spoilers for all things to come. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to get to that footage. I have stuff from Pennsylvania last month and Australia last year that I got to get to. But Lord knows I'm excited and interested very much in getting that stuff put up. So, anyway, last couple top chats, and we'll actually get into this thing a little bit here. So, yes. Lucario Blader 2. Hey Mark, to make the brain cell happy, how is firing the 70? And also, did it get to operator in the engineer's seat at all? Spoilers, firing the 70 was great. It was a lot of fun. Oil was a lot of fun. I will save any big reveal for the video, but I enjoyed it very much. I did not operate in the engineer's seat at all, which understandable. FRA, regulated railroad, all that stuff. I was shocked they let me come in and fire on the deadhead with no passengers anyways. That was already like a great gift to me. I wasn't even anticipating that, which was fantastic. So, all that sort of thing. Anyway, let's see. John Doe, good to see you. Fireman 36 months, 3 years. Has it been 3 years minus 2 days since you started the debt meme? Yes. Have I thought about killing it? Yes. Will I? Not yet. I will keep that ship going in planes, not trains, for as long as I can. I'm very, very glad. Thank you again, John Doe. Solaris, an idea for the previous suggestion is that one could have a standard gauge interchange and every other one could be a narrow gauge interchange to narrow gauge interchange. Run straight across if you own both lines. I appreciate you, my good sir. The way, literally the way that the software works out, that is not a possibility that is reasonable for us to follow. Could you make that? Yes. Would that throw out everything we've done and need to then refigure out? And also yes. So it is not worth doing as neat as it would be, and I think everyone will be happy with what we come up with. So, or at least enough people. Andy, funnily enough, only the railroad calls me Andy these days. Everywhere else I'm Andrew. Not that I care, it just makes me chuckle. Got your railroad name. Got your real name. That's entertaining. I'm just asshole to everyone at the railroad, right? It's fine. Creations galore. So they're going to be a K36 in Century Esteem. Would be great to finally drive an accurate K36 model in a game. That is a delightful thought, isn't it? Driving a ubiquitous locomotive such as the K36 that has made itself onto memorabilia on just about every single railroad museum in the United States. Time will tell. We've not shown one yet, and that's all I have to say on that front. Beyond, gee, I don't know. Look at the rest of this. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to join Discord with enough delay such that Dan and Tom are not being too divulgatory or anything. Hello, friends. We're live. We're here.
Oh, we have the blend for it, and it's in game.
Oh, we have. Okay.
I was gonna say if you could put that on the thing, then I might want to do the 2-story pilot house on that as well.
Don't worry, everyone. They are still they've gone from inside baseball to like black magic inside outside baseball. It's fine. If you guys really need to discuss something, feel free and hop down to another chat.
Fun.
No, we should be good. We were just talking all things depots.
We should be pretty much fine.
Depot. Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm going to take a double quick check at my list of things that I've got left to do.
Deposition.
Deposition of the depot. Yeah. I'm going to take a quick look and see what I should probably engage in here while I've got a little time on stream.
Glad to have you back, Dan.
Yes, it's always good to have Dan here.
The puns alone are worth the stay at the company.
That's very true. Let's see. Well, I've got to do some stuff for oil burning. I've got to do some brake stuff that I've been trying to put off for a time. Got to do the re-railing equipment. And the radiator I need to get better pictures of. Well, we might finally be taking a look at things tucked up in here, of which there's a lot more than we presently have. So we're gonna start there this eve and kind of see where we get. So we'll take a look at top chats in a quick second. I need to take a look and see where my references are, because I especially got great reference of these when I was last teaching one of our volunteers to inspect the locomotive during fire up. And I was like, oh wow, that's what that stuff looks like. I've never seen that from right here. At least that I could consciously remember. So, yeah.
Also, Mark, I had the realization, if you take one of the pilot truck wheels off the NCO-10 wheeler, I believe it's a similar profile on the inside to what you need for this.
Oh, great.
So you should be
yeah, this has got a little bit of that contoured shape, but
Close.
yeah, I roughed those in super rough when I
I made
however long
edits
ago, so.
to them to make them closer, and then wasn't sure if they needed to be higher poly than they were. So, because I remember, like, I went through on the leads and trails and was like, "Is that right? I don't know. Is that close enough? I don't know." You can't hardly see the darn wheels on the actual one, so it's like, well, if they're that it's like, is that close enough? Is it not close? You know.
The fun thing is, unlike the actual one, we can roll this thing over.
It's true.
Yeah, that's probably fine. True.
Because it does have the curve back in, but is that extra poly? Does that extra poly loop get you the thing? These are the questions that we ask, by the way, everyone. I'm joined by Daniel, who's our modeling director, and Wings, who is our art director.
I would say so.
So
Dan is the czar of all things that move.
As long as being roughly conical is correct.
I posted the pictures in, and they're a smidgen. It looks like the hub is slightly larger on the actual wheel set, but there's no guarantee that that's every single K. There's no guarantee that every single K37 had the same larger hub. Like, that's the thing, is the more I stare at these, it's like, well, it's plausible and overall the right shape, but were they all exactly like that, or is that just the truck that this one got? You know. That's the hard to think, because I sat there and tried to pipe things exactly like they are on the 491 for so long, and then I went and looked at it and went,
I would have to.
So.
Nothing is always the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's probably an extra inch and a half on the hub, actually, on the on these, but.
Yeah. I would say that would be a fair assumption to make.
All right, well then we can do that. That's easy.
That would be standard. That is.
Yeah, and it's definitely something where, like, I will defer to Dan on this, because we've sort of specialized within the company where Dan is in charge of all the things that move, and I've kind of like taken a different direction of like handling all this stuff where if it moves, something has gone very, very, very wrong. You know, and that does greatly. AKA buildings.
That's true. That does greatly change kind of the appearance, because when you look at it, it's like, all right, this is my picture of the wheel set, and you can see, all right, it comes down to about maybe somewhere below where the truck frame does. Oh, okay, so it's a pretty tight cone, reverse conical shape. So I think that's fair enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need another division in poly? Is there, or is that?
I think maybe you could try just like
one additional loop
course in the middle, like in the middle of the conical section, and then pull it out, because it kind of has, like you said, the bowl
What I
shape.
would do. I wouldn't necessarily put a loop in the middle, because it's a casting, right? It's gonna have a little bit of a smoother curve at the top and
right.
the inside. I would, if you can, make that inside inflection point
The sky
a little bit deeper even than it already is.
Okay, deeper.
That one and the yeah.
Do a little bevel action maybe.
And then get the
These faces a little in further interior.
The larger radius one. Not that the where it goes from the cone to the reverse cone.
Down here in the middle.
That middle point.
Oh, a little deeper in on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh yeah. It's gonna affect that bevel, but
right.
If you make that a bit deeper and then you bevel it and the shoulder, then it's gonna sell the conical portion a little bit better.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I totally see what you're saying.
Match it a little bit closer. Those
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A little bit more pronounced than we give them credit for.
Yeah. No. Totally. Totally. Okay. Good. Good.
Yeah,
see. This is what's good about having these guys.
This is why Dan is our lead doctor.
Okay, I've got a bunch of top chats in here.
But yeah, for reference, this is extra pronounced because this is the paper wheel. But the paper wheel, the hub on the outside is 8 3/4 inch diameter. The hub on the inside is 16 inches diameter.
Holy crap! That's a big difference.
Big.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so I got a bunch of top chats. I'm gonna go slightly reverse for a section. I see you, everyone, and I see Rutger popping in here, being generous as always. Thank you, my good dude. Swag Pants asking a question, one which I have a follow up on. How about 495's coal bunker or 494's number plate? 94's number plate I would like to know about because I don't know any customization there personally, so I'd like to know. But 95. I got you, boo. She already there. It's like the one tender customization I have. Because 95, there was something wrong with 95. Because all of them were very rigid, staid engines all the way around. 95 has like 60 flexies in the throat, more than the 491 with siphons that they added for the siphons. And she has this giant extra rear coal board and giant stays around. It's like, ooh, she must have been a bolt breaker. Ooh, hang on. That's got to go on the Trello. This is entirely unimportant, but Pat Benatar cover. You're a bolt breaker. Anyway.
Great shaker.
Yes, exactly. It just writes itself. Heartbreaker.
Great shaker.
Bolt breaker cover. Yep. Perfect. Great. Got that on my musical cover list for when I have no other things going on in my life. But anyway. Alright, so we fixed a wheel. I'm very much happier with that wheel. So presumably can just put that on the trailing set and
So what is the lore with 94's supposed number plate radius? Because I'm looking at photos and it looks like the 4-digit.
Yeah, looking at
square plates.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, there's some of the text and font work is really terrible from what I recall, but that's not a 3D modeling question. But
I do see 494 has these weird bongos that have like a conical section of them.
Not a...
Some of the bongos do have the extra conic section in them because they don't be the same. Yeah, some of them are like that. I'm gonna hit these top chats, then we'll look at some more things. Solarius, and one more thing. 576 is doing live Steam testing this week, if you're not mistaken. Dope. Excited about that. That's gonna be so cool to see that engine run. Very excited for that, especially knowing that they're gonna have like a business case to use it, which is a key thing in this world these days and age. Avs Hut Ack.
Yes.
Sorry. Breakman 18 months. Your club just got a part of Bob Brown's collection. Like Bob Brown from my museum? Or a different Bob Brown? I'm not familiar. Well, hopefully you guys can do good with it. Whichever Bob that is. Jordan Freeman, if the members of this Discord chat were cast as the Fellowship of the Ring, who would be who? Is it terrible that I just immediately want to make Tom Smeagol? Is that terrible? Is that terrible?
Smeagol's not a part of the Fellowship, though.
Well, it's true. It's not part of he's not part of the Fellowship, but it's fine. We just rewatched those films, and he's in the film kind of briefly as a voice. But my head immediately goes, that captures some of the goblin energy that comes.
It's extremely funny.
Which is very funny, but yes. I feel like Dan has to be Frodo. If we're actually going to give Tom not a shitpost answer.
The new job
This is challenging.
What are we signing Lord of the Rings characters to people in the company?
To the people of this Discord as members of the Fellowship.
I mean, medically speaking, there's a non-zero chance I become Boromir, but let's not talk about that.
Well, no, we're not allowed, not approved. Tom is Boromir an hour and 45 minutes into the film. No, not approved. But I mean, but you could be Éowyn and you could be No Man at the end of the film, or at the end of the trilogy, and that would be outstanding. Jake is Tom Bombadil because he's just not fucking here. And I will reserve judgment on myself for you guys to decide, because I don't think that's fair for me to pick myself.
Oh.
I know this isn't helpful, but now I'm just thinking of
the actual Fellowship.
My hair is most like Boromir's. I'll say that.
My thought would be Gimli, son of Glóin.
I could see Gimli having my energy.
My thought would be Gimli, son of Glóin, in that you are. It's the being like a reasonably reserved, like, honorable fighter in the books, and then getting played for comic relief.
Dan, that's wow. Yep, that's pretty accurate. Oh, hey look everyone. Not to distract, I mean, but it just happened. Jushi Poo is on cat cam now. One of the cats has returned. I don't know where Hades is, but
Oh boy.
we at least got them. Jordan Freeman, always entertaining when you ask those kinds of questions. It always makes us think. But anyway. Treewalker93, actual Century of Steam question without revealing too much. I know the team is focused on historical accuracy, but how shitposty will players be able to get with their equipment beyond names, numbers, and colors? Less than the North Pacific coast, more than you'd think. That's my answer right away, but
I mean, you can, like, with the text and decal system, you can literally put whatever. Like, if you want to put, like,
it's pretty powerful.
Hatsune Miku on the side of a headlight, you could.
Not the Baldwin anime engine.
and images and colors.
Yeah, there's too much power there.
It does get a lot more limited because very intentionally we have set it up where we have to model everything.
Right.
And there is already a very real situation where it is not possible, even on something as single road as the broadtop mics. Like, there were a number of variations that Alec and Zach spotted that we didn't think was, reasonable. The structural components have been hollowed out on one and not the other to improve clearances. And it's like, gameplay wise, that doesn't do anything. It's barely visible. You have to prioritize.
Right.
You're cutting out a bit, Dan.
Yeah, unfortunately you are.
And at the point where you have to prioritize stuff that's prototypical changes. Yeah, my ping is going through the roof.
Single tier. I will say, like, to that front, I mean, prioritizing things, we had a discussion for me literally nothing other than morbid curiosity when I was getting ready to do renders of all these. I was curious, like, we had several of the front smileys modeled, and I was like, well, there were 10 of these. How different were all 10? And they're largely the same overall, but somewhat different. So I modeled all of them, and we talked about extensively afterwards, like, hey, we're going to probably have to pick, like, 4 versions. And you could probably reasonably represent most of them with 4 or 5 variations.
I think, like,
but
5, maybe 6 will cover all 10. So.
Probably, yeah, because there's some that are reasonably almost exactly the same.
Yeah, like 94 and 98 are similar, except for, like, I think a half-inch movement of the...
Yeah, 94 and 94 and 98, it's like they have the stanchion in just a slightly different place, but it's by and large the same, you know. Whereas, like, 93 is the one where it's like, ooh, you did not apply that evenly. Thanks, guys. That's real cool.
Yeah, and then like 90 and post-rec 92 kind of have the same flavor.
Well, they are the same, because 92 got 90's face after she hit a boulder real hard.
It is literally the same face.
They cut the smoke box off of the 490 and they put it on the 492 after the 492 head-faced into a boulder at Mock Jesus.
There's a John Travolta Nicolas Cage movie that's kind of like that. It's called Face Off.
Yes. 91's the only one that has perfect happy smiley that is like really pretty and nice, but she also never got a plow, so. But like 93's is goofy and off-centered. 94, like 98, kind of the 90 degree instead of like doing a 180, it's like maybe 120 degrees around. You know, when you start getting this, and then like 95 having the like way crazy splayed out on either side. 96 and 99 were close enough to do the same, where it's a further bit around the path, but it's the same kind of idea as the 98. They just extended it. Like, all of that, like, I was morbidly curious, so I modeled all of them, but reasonably to apply them in a way that they can be textured and then selectable and make a difference that matters to you in the game. We're not going to do a lot of that stuff. So, like, all the modeled stuff is only going to be so shitposty, right? Like, that gets back to the question. It can only be so shitposty. So.
Yeah. And it can only be so specific. Because that's part of the thing is, you could, if you were really smart, you could get it to where those are all on one map. And they aren't expensive mapping wise, but that's still 9 or 10 variations. I know that's kind of what we go in for, but only the most intense grand foamers are gonna appreciate.
Put it this way, I only did it because I didn't know and I'd never noticed, and I have laid hands to every single K37 that still exists. So it's like, does it matter? Not really, you know. So, you know, that's a reason why there is a limitation on physical changes, and why people get into the could you do this, and it's like, well, no.
It's like we theoretically could do anything, but everything comes with a development cost, and more importantly, it comes with a texture space usage, and there's only so much stuff you could fit on a texture sheet.
Right.
So
and
you want to go for the changes that affect the most variation and give the best representation per this space usage on the texture sheet.
Right. And there's so many little things I've seen on the 37s where it's like, ooh, this is a weird esoteric
cost too.
You know, this is an esoteric piping difference. Like, why did they pipe this one like this? And it sometimes, if you know what to look for, it's a very visual difference, but none of them look like that anymore. And only nerds who have gone and looked at pictures are going to care. And even then, it was, again, me, after 12 years of operating this engine and working on its sister briefly and all this stuff, oh, I didn't notice until I went through the archives and went, oh, that's neat, they did that. And if you're at that point, you know, you're already beyond what we can do for a video game anyways, because you're already beyond help. Go volunteer.
Yeah, it's the sort of rule we have where, like, we're not modeling an exact locomotive. We're doing, like, a theoretical representation of, like, what is the, like, mechanical representation of this locomotive, in the sense that, like, you're not going to be able to get all the minute piping differences across all 10 of a class. You're getting what is a piping arrangement which is mechanically and spatially correct for, like, an idealized version of this class.
I have thought more, because most of my reference is 491.
And especially when it...
Dan's ping is crazy. Because most of my reference is 491.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
He's getting better. I have gone through, and they're like in these 37s, there are arch tube plugs that 491 doesn't have, because she doesn't have arch tubes. She has siphons. So all 4 of those plugs are gone. So in certain variations, it's like I'm thinking of, okay, well, how would you disassemble this pipe? Where is the union going to be such that you don't have to take the pipe off? Or if you have to take the pipe off, it's easy to take the pipe off to take the plug out to inspect. I'm thinking of the railroad standard practice versus whatever, because we don't have images of everything. With the Grand, we're lucky that we have so many weird and interesting late pictures in some cases, but it's like, it's not always the best.
Yes.
So it's interesting.
But even then, when people talk about doing the variations from every engine, we have to appreciate that these are engines you're going to be buying in the 1920s.
Right.
And it wouldn't be historically reasonable to represent all of their variations from the late 1950s.
Right. Yeah, like a lot of the stuff that I have right now in this... I have 6ET set up on this with modern feed valves that when I asked Dan about these feed valves, Dan didn't know they existed off the top of his head. Because they're not in either of your books from Westinghouse, and you've got books into the 20s or 30s, don't you?
Yeah, because online it starts getting a lot harder to find books after 1918. It has some books from the 30s.
Right. I just remember being like, oh yeah, the feed valves that every engine I've ever seen has, and you were like, those don't, my book doesn't say anything about those, and I was like, what? That's the only feed valve I know of.
And I'm like, hey, if it's a B6 or a C6, I got you.
Yeah, that was funny.
Dan makes a good point.
Our stuff doesn't even have B6s.
Fair enough.
But yeah, Dan also makes a good point as far as, like, what is the narrative context around ordering equipment for this game, and it's not like if you get an 818C, you're not getting, oh, I'm getting the Eureka, which is an engine that survives in preservation today. It's no, your railroad is getting an 818C to your specifications for your railroad built new. So
right.
It's even something where, like, for something like this, and like, we had to rationalize it as, like, well, Burnham is using one of their other C41s to, like, build a K37 as, like, basically an add-on or a rider to their current, build list, as, like, oh, another railroad tacked on an order or went to them requesting an engine, and thus they built it for you from that, rather than trying to justify, like, oh, does my railroad have, like, a historical connection to the DNRG if, say, you're running out of Ponderosa or Keystone? Well, no, right. I mean, you can still have, like, the thing of, like, you are contacting the builder to build one of these from another C41 boiler and parts you have, but it's not like, the DNRG is not going to be your parent railroad in Keystone. So there is a little bit of, like, narrative fudging there for the sake of justifying these, but again, this is, at the end of the day, it's your railroad. It's not you LARPing on an existing one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Dayton
Central
and the
Pacific
Columbus.
did not build locomotives for other railroads at all, except Dayton and Columbus. Dayton and Columbus, the V&T was that desperate and was willing to pay the price, and they just tacked on to an existing order of 10 engines. Sound familiar? 2 extra locomotives to make it an order of 12. And the Central Pacific regretted that by the end. They really wish they could just have all 12, but they'd made the deal.
That's it's entertaining. I didn't know that, but that makes sense. Because I remember seeing Dayton and being like, wait, V&T, but okay. But goodness, that question, Treewalker, thank you for thoroughly derailing us, which we're very easily derailed.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
I might leave and rejoin.
Yeah, see if it
to try
helps
to
your
fix my ping a little bit.
fix your ping, maybe.
And after that, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Anyway, moving on. Catch me outside. Heck, didn't catch that you're live. Finally get to catch you live. Just had to have zero luck getting a sleep for 2 days and thus calling out of work, so you're not driving 30 miles while sleep deprived to do it. Well, hey, I'm glad you're here enjoying. I'm sorry to hear that you've been dealing with sleep shenanigans. I understand. I've dealt with that myself many a times, so yeah. Lucario Blader 2, music question, new album when? .jpg. That's a loaded question depending on exactly what. If you mean Burnham and Run, if you mean me, if you mean Hellbot. Those are all, I think, 3 very different answers. And I think I would have 2 different answers in terms of music that I'm like making for me and music that I'm making just that happens that I'm like, ooh, this is stuff I'd use for my sound, like my own videos and whatever, which is its own little thing. So, some point,
everyone at the company's been like kind of out of it music wise, just from burnout or exhaustion or just being busy with other stuff.
Heads down with a lot of everything.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff that we want to work on, but it's tough to get into. I will tell you guys and give you a little update. Thanks to prescription medication for my brain, I've been able to focus on some other projects outside of making YouTube videos or working on the game and whatnot. So I'm slowly getting acoustic treatment set up. I built a bunch of acoustic panels and filmed it time-lapse style for the second channel. I'm going to get the drum kit kind of set up and hoping to kind of get that a little further along so I can record music fully again. Because for me, it's always if there's a little barrier to entry, I'm not going to do it. But if I've got my mics on the kit and I've got the kit set up and I can press a button and just go record, I'm going to go do that. So I'm hoping that that's near in my future because I've got the acoustic treatment going in because this room sounded abjectly terrible before I did anything to it. So going to have at least a little bit of something first. But, there's lots behind the scenes that then yield what comes in next. So as far as Hellbot goes, I don't know. I've heard their rough demos of what they recorded without me, which was kind of weird, but honestly very cool and sounds really good. So, time will tell. Oh God, please don't freeze up, Blender.
Rutger Lamerson with $50 says, hello, Hyce crew. Hyce for locos with frames outside the wheels. Are the pilots configured differently to inform the frame when taking curves since the drivers are inside? Or am I misunderstanding? As far as pilots, like pilot beams, pilot structures...
Oh, hi, Bubba.
It's pretty similar.
It's pretty much the same, honestly. Yeah. The suspension is the same. The one thing that the Rio Grande Ks have... oh, shit. Motherfuck it. The one thing that the Rio Grande Ks have that is not on my to-do list, that is not modeled yet, that is literally a flat piece of angle iron that would be very easy to model, is the centering device on the number 1. The 20, I don't know if the 28s have it, but the 36s and the 37s do. They have a self-centering device and a lot of lateral on the number 1s, which is not a inside frame design. It is specifically a. We
have a lateral motion device at home.
It is we have a lateral motion device at home. Yeah, Dan, I want to say the called out lateral on the number 1 is 1 inch and 1/8.
Good grief.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
I've seen more, but not often.
Yeah. I have a video I took, I want to say, it may not be too hard for me to find that. Especially now that I have my NAS hooked up, because I hooked up my NAS because I have a brain that works. And Hades Bubba, Juicy Poo is up on the tree, and the Hades Bubba is here on my camera, being real cute. If my NAS will load. Hi, sweet boy. Oh no, he would rather just be held and do potential air biscuits, maybe. No, he just wants to be held. Okay. Hi, Bubba. Oh my god. This is a literal ab workout, in case anyone was wondering. This is a 17-pound cat. I guess my NAS doesn't load, so it may not be powered on right now for some reason.
Okay, I should have boosted myself a little bit.
That does sound a little better.
All right.
Volume boost. Yeah, Tom, I've got you at 200%, and I've got Discord turned up already, so if you could come up a bit, that'd be...
let me see if I can adjust it on my end. I think my gain's all the way up.
That helped a little bit, certainly.
Okay.
But yeah. So the typical pilot structure, this one... Let me get rid of the flanger. The flanger adds a lot of crap.
It's just, you've got your sword equalizer.
Right.
You've got a swing motion around your your body bolster.
I gotta figure out the Bissell post,
too. Oh, you still need a pin, huh?
Yeah, I need to figure out exactly how that ties in. That pin needs to get extruded all the way, is what it does. But I need to clean out the bottom of that. The Bissell post on the 37 is hollow. So that this is your up down translation device. This guy can slide up and down basically on this kind of lead truck, and then it has what's called a heart link down here because it looks like an upside down heart, and it allows for some pivoting. And mine's modeled with hardly any relief in it because you're never going to get to see this ever in your existence without being in Blender. Normally it would be a lot smoother than that, but as you shift over to the right, as the lateral shifts over, you hit the hub first, it starts to pull the center of this guy over as the boxes shift over when you hit the hub, and then it rotates this heart and it picks up on the Bissell post, which then grabs the sword equalizer that runs into it, pivots it there, and then that informs the load that then goes onto the transverse equalizer and the drivers. So that's how you tend to shift load as you go into and out of corners, and that's very true on like any typical locomotive with a lead truck, as far as I'm aware. The Bissell post types vary, also, but
that's also how you specifically like the wheels. The lead wheels are not just if they just swung freely like they do on a model, that doesn't help you, right? What it is,
correct,
they are actually transferring the weight to pull the drivers in the correct direction.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah, the folks at Santa Margarita, if you watch Molly's footage of the lead truck on their Franken Porter that had the lead truck just kind of slapped on for looks, you can tell that it does nothing. And it's quite educational to take a look at. But, great question, Rutger, and thank you. Obviously the Rio Grande Ks, again, have that extra lateral, but that's it. The design, otherwise, is almost exactly what you would expect, actually.
And the outside frame is a little bit different, but that's specifically because it's outside frame.
Right.
And it's, getting into the casting era of things. The whole, superpower era where all of these things are integrally cast parts to make them easier to use or lighter for their power.
My driving boxes are not thick enough.
When the first engines in the late 19th century were being built with outside frames, they were literally just using the same frames as their, as like a Class 70.
Sure. Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah. That is yeah, that's a good point. It's not the design choice, it is the subject of modernity, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, because that is a lot.
Yeah, that is
and that's a lot of the preserved experience. Oh man, I don't have seller pins or sellers, man. How much do we care? I'm gonna put it on my list.
For the outside stuff, I would probably do it. I have simplified ones on most of my frames.
You can see the seller pin and the cotter pin on the outside on these, so yeah. Okay. I knew the more you look, the more you find, and my list is so short at this point, guys. And this is acting as somehow my live stream model review where life's fine. But it's fine. It's mildly entertaining. Let's see.
Yeah, do you want to look over oil burning equipment and become very sad?
Oh man. Don't you do this to me, Dan. We could.
No,
they haven't seen it on stream yet, but yeah.
From what I've seen, it's probably already pretty good, but
I hope so. I took your NCO 10-wheeler oil burner arrangement and then just slurped it until it fit on this thing.
And that's the most complete oil burner arrangement.
Right. And it was based on reference from the DNS, because I knew like, and Joe provided such great references and I took such great references from the Durango and Silverton, but I knew that that is a modern constructed arrangement, right? Yes. Like that is not truly what it would have been historically had it been quote unquote an option necessarily, but it's
close.
It's good to fit the form factor. It's going to be very close, but not in the construction methodology, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we can pull it up because people haven't seen it yet. So
yeah, the Grand Canyon still uses a version of updated from the Santa Fe manuals.
Let's see.
Which is very funny to me.
I do really, I know I need to audit the lid a little further, but I really like how the NDM style tank brackets and everything looked with the doghouse. Like oh no, he's hot.
Very silly.
It is very silly. Is now when I show the clip from Mountaineer? It's fine. Actually, I'm going to show this clip because I don't know if Dan's going to watch my YouTube later. You might not, but you're a busy man these days, and so I want to get your reaction now. And chat, you'll find this quite funny. But let's see. Is it this clip? I think it's this clip. I'm gonna say this on camera exactly once, good sir. I like that more than firing coal. There you go.
Correct.
See, that much is correct. The fun thing is, this is staunchly Ben's opinion. I kind of go either way.
Okay.
Generally, our take is, if we had a smoke jack, we would prefer wood.
That is with your operation, that is a reasonable take. I'm thinking in the moment of just actually physically firing. I really, really genuinely liked oil. I really,
oil was lovely.
It was so cool.
It's one of the things too where for our operation specifically, oil is really hard.
I believe it. Yeah.
You're never chilling.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that sounds like.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Like if you tried to take an oil burner, like if you try to take 18 to your museum,
be terrible. Yeah.
You open it wide, and then you shut it down, and then you open it wide, and then you shut it down, and then you open it wide.
Right. I guess the nice thing to keep in mind was that the 70 was such that with the way the burner is, the sizing of it, where it is, and how everything was set up and the flow, you really didn't need to change the atomizer. If you had if you were up and it was just okay, you had it a quarter turn open and you're just playing with the firing valve, and she liked full damper all the time. So I've heard of more persnickety engines. She was one that was just happy. It was just okay, we're playing with it. Okay, great, we're playing with the firing valve and learning the exact transition of how much firing valve when all that stuff. I mean that was so that is why oil burning in this game is going to be correct on the implementation side at some points. Because I know it's not now. Because now I know. But, you know,
for what it's
fun.
Worth to, like, 25 is a pretty picky engine, right? It has a tiny, tiny boiler.
Right.
With a pretty tiny grate space, too. But it is true... Once you're going out on the road, like, hostling is when you need to worry about your atomizer the most, especially if you don't want to be on fire.
Sure.
Once you're out on the road, like, you get climbing that hill, dead ass, you could cut your atomizer completely.
Right, because it's self-atomized. I was not expecting that, because it's not what I've heard from many people, but I've heard it from other people. So I think it's very entirely
but
set up on, you know, depending per engine, you know, to some extent. But yeah. Anyway,
it is kind of like what we'll do is I'll tend to preload it a bit. You know, I'll bring up the fire, bring up the atomizer a bit when we know that we're gonna go. And just, you know, use the blower, and then instead of bringing up the firing valve, you just cut the blower as you start moving. And then you have, you know, until you're clear of the platform before you have to even touch the firing valve again. And, yeah, you don't touch the atomizer. Like, you might mess with it when you reach the top of the hill to tune it to your coasting fire. But going up the hill, you have it set high enough, you don't mess with it.
Right.
Where you don't want to be is, because we're on a public stream, I'm not going to name names. I'm sure you will be familiar with who I'm talking about. I've seen some operations that do not touch the atomizer at all.
I know of at least one.
And that is not correct.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, let me grab these couple top chats, and then I will show you my oil burner setup on this thing, and then we'll rant on that for a minute. Then I'm gonna have to go pee, but then we'll go from there. Okay. The next one that we haven't gotten to, again, thank you, Rutger Lamberson, for the great generosity there. Indominus Rex 315. I can imagine 491 or 20 saying to an unconscious Mark, saying, "Think, Mark, you really troll me? Think." Yeah, pretty much. I've had a lot of terrible dreams about firing coal before. Maybe that's why I like firing oil. Anyway, Colorado Kid. That's what I was trying to do with your CNS 70 project, though we did have some inside pilot wheel profiles, have some spiral looking pattern, and 491s look smooth. Yeah, a lot of the later, particularly on car wheels, will have that spiral profile, and several of the wheels.
Spirals are super common. Even the 1980s patterns for grand wheels have straight ribs on the back.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think I have a photo handy. We have an 1868 Central Pacific wheel at the museum that they fully just like twisted the machine.
Okay.
Like, it's not ribs exactly. They corrugated the whole ass plate of the wheel.
Cool. That's a great trick. This is
whips. I have no idea how they did it. But yeah, the ribs are pretty dang common.
It's an easy way to get a lot of extra strength, you know,
yes,
and torsional rigidity in the wheel and all that, for less cost of material, and it's easier for the casting to flow and all the stuff.
I tend to see the stuff go away. Like the drawings for the EVT wheels that we use doesn't have ribs at all. And that was such a weird thing to us that, like, some of the historians called out and went, are you sure? Are you really sure? It seems to be that way. But ribs is probably more common than smooth.
Yeah, I believe that. YouTube's being a little stupid. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube. Oh, that one tab is just frozen. Okay, that would explain why. I was like, hang on, that's the last top chat I see, but I see more on the right that I don't see there. Let's try and wake that up real quick. If not, I can... Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh no. That tab has been frozen for a long time. Okay. Well, at least we know YouTube is a stable platform. Let me sort this by fan funding and pray that it's kind. Hey, look, I think it was kind. Wow, that's a lot more top chats. Okay, we're going to get through these. I'm going to pee and then we're going to go through whale firing. Anyway, next from Andrew Frame and Andy Frame. On the music side of things, I'd still love to hear a grandified cover of Great Big Rollin' Railroad. That would be funny. 75 Horse Case, good evening. Good to see that you're not stuck in a firebox or a rhino. Christ on a bike. Did that box open itself at a point? No, but it's right there. Remind me again later and we could pop that open. Ben's... Christ on a bike. I rebuilt my PC and I've got more space and that box became uncovered. Anyway. Ben Stein, 347, Breakbin 28 months. Discord sounds quiet. If you could turn it up, please. I think we're turned up at this point. Hopefully it's all good at this point. Let us know in chat.
Hopefully.
Dan turned up and Wings turned up. I've been rebalancing things because my audio drivers fucking work for the first time in years. So maybe shit'll be better. But anyway. AVS, Hutsatch, Bob Brown of the Narrow Gauge, and Shortline Gazette, who passed away. We have lots of rolling stock buildings and library with rare books. Oh, shoot. I feel bad I didn't know that, Bob Brown. Goodness. Well, I'm glad you got his collection, and please take good care of it and document it the best you can. James Durrell fan, Breakman 5 months. Hey, Hyce, how's life been treating you? It's great. I played a kick-ass rock and roll concert with my band. I got to see the people I love. I got to go fire oil and hang out with some of the coolest people in the industry recently. So it's been good. Kyle Crowley, conductor, 15 months. Kitty! Yes. Jed Brown, so if Mark is Gimli, does that make Brett Legolas? He's going to have to put on a wig.
I will argue that Brett should be Gimli because the actor is canonically the tallest person on set. And they had to hide that in very creative ways throughout the entirety of those movies.
Has a point. Tom has a point.
Funny.
That yes. Perhaps Brett is Gimli and I don't know. I don't know who I am. That's entertaining. Virgo the Drewski, engineer, 30 months. In the late days, the DNR GW nerve gauge were parts taken off locomotives in the deadline to keep the other engines running. Fuck yeah! As we aforementioned, 492 has 490's entire smoke box. Well, not entire. The front and like the top half. Yeah.
That's absolutely universal.
489 has 485's almost entire running gear. It rolled in the turntable pit.
Shocking.
All the stuff.
About both Inyo and Glenbrook is they are both hugely Baldwin locomotives still. They don't have a lot of replacement parts on them, or if they have replacement
that is
parts,
surprising.
they were brought in from Baldwin.
That is very surprising.
But like Glenbrook has a driver set. I think it's just one driver set off of the Tahoe, and the crosshead pump. I'm pretty sure I know when it changed the crosshead pump with number 3. Because it has number 3's crosshead pump now.
That's funny. 346 has a C16's connecting rod somewhere. And 20 on average is actually like 23, I think, if you do the math properly. So
that also makes sense.
Yeah. So, yes, absolutely back in the day. And, I mean, that's the story of the railroad. Swag Pants, welcome to the Fireman. Thank you. 94 Chevy Z71. Who else saw Ed go full Surtop Matt on that bonehead foamer? Less than a foot from the rail. Yeah. Nico Zrak was like, I don't know if you need to cover that for Twerp News when I asked for feedback. And I was like, you know, I'm going to get so many people asking me about if I saw that I should just put it in the news because obviously it's the clip of the day. So, yeah, yes, I did see that. And, you know, I envy Ed in some ways, you know. You get to run the big boy, the 844, all that stuff. But, like, to run with that much of a crowd that close to the tracks, I would be having a pan attack with my hand on the automatic the whole time. And
when Ed says 25 feet, he's not asking. You do that, or you will probably either get an earful if you're lucky, or if you're not lucky, you'll be dead. So, you know, you have a brain. Use it. Just stay 25 feet back.
Don't cause a problem for the rest of them. AEP 817 Brakeman 29 months need a drawing for the M3 or M3A feed valve. Oh my god, where were you a couple months ago? Yes, please email me, mark@hycetrains.com. I measured a couple key distances on our M3s and I eyeballed it. If you have a drawing, I will gladly redo them to make them right because they're important and modern and
you'll probably find that they're pretty close.
I hope so. So, I mean, they look about right, but you know, they're you know, are they perfect? Probably not. But I mean,
yeah. Well,
I did the best I could with what I had.
Drawing, they're not gonna be because feed valves are a complicated shape.
Right, and it's, you know, to me, it's like at the end of the day, when we give people these models, you want to make sure nothing's egregious. You want to make sure everything feels proper and feels close or at least plausible.
The important thing is that it's recognizable.
Right. Recognizable and plausible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, if you've got a drawing, I mean, I'd love to make sure it's nailed and totally right. So.
Yeah.
Jed Brown 824. Mark, any chance of a video on a day at the CRRM as a volunteer versus a paid employee? Also, I think I figured out the skillet end of the cooking scoop. Great to hear. Thank you. I don't think I can make that video. Because I can't, I regardless of my status at the museum, it doesn't matter if I'm staff or not. My experience is uniquely different because of who I am and my experience and my time there. Perhaps I could ask.
To do it as a host to two different people.
I really would, which maybe, but I mean, we can't even get a potential of me doing a whole day right now with logistics and everything, so shrug. We'll kind of see what we can figure out there. Nazu 50 Hades, good kitty. He's a good kitty, although he's not here anymore. He said hi and then ran away, and Zeus is still on the tree. Acela 2163, have I seen the video of the Canadian train crew caught in a wildfire waiting on a meet? Sent the video on real trains. Holy shit, no, I have not. I will have to check that. Good Lord.
Yeah, I see it.
I feel like if there was ever a time to go against the cards and run a red, that would be it. I'd like, I don't care if this fucks traffic up. I'm not gonna just sit and get burned.
Overtake us here. This has gotten a little scary.
Good Lord.
Holy shit.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you're inside of a locomotive that's got.
To hurry up here. Like, seriously, we're encased in flames now.
It's you know, if you just left it, that would become a problem for the locomotive eventually.
Right. I mean, the cab's pretty thick, so I mean, you'd be all right for a couple minutes if it just kind of got to you, but.
But yeah, you know, you can hear him talking about, hey, we gotta move.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it is the sort of thing where I would, you know, seeing it, you would ask dispatch, and then you would inform dispatch that you're not asking.
Right. It's kind of burnt off, so we'll be okay now.
No, it kind of burned off. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
So Canadian, it hurts. Wow.
The fire as it passed was just barely audible as having said "ope."
You guys get that light?
And there's the meat.
Woo! That's a meat and a half, eh?
This
That's
feels
the most Canadian sentence.
this feels very emblematic of like what it feels like to be alive right now. I'm gonna leave it at that. But if you know, you know.
I want to do a reaction video to that for the YouTube because
Yeah,
that is
so-
goddamn fucking hilarious and terrifying all at the same time.
So yesterday, I did fully go dead on the line, so to speak. I hit 12 hours on the road. We had thunderstorms coming in around 5, right? And I was literally in the middle of a parking loop when it started raining. And I was brand new on the route. I felt like I was real behind, and the whole, like, that's a heck of a meet just reminded me of looking down at my scanner, you know, after thinking I was doing bad, and going, due to the volume of drop mail at the office, we are mandating all employees for overtime.
Lord. Huh. Oh, lordy. Alright, from my Thade, engineer 41 months. Hey, boss, how'd my weekend go? Glad to see we're going ahead full steam. I'll see myself out. Limes, yes. Thank you. Weekend was great. I spent it largely partially hungover and mostly wishing I didn't throw myself around on stage like I was in my 20s and my 30s. It was like hangover, 3 out of 10. Body pain from just forcing myself to dance with the rock music, 9 out of 10. It was pretty bad.
I discovered recently like you can just get dizzy by standing up too fast, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, man.
It sucks.
It's not fair, but the alternative's not great, so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I guess, yeah, all considered with the other health stuff I'm dealing with, like, not hitting that until, like, you know, early to mid-30s is pretty good. Right.
From Andrew Frame.
I'll take what I can get, honestly.
Real. It's canon now. It is canon now. Thank you. That was to me telling Rowdy that I liked oil firing better. I'm saying that too many times close enough to the engines that they might hurt me next time. It's fine. Also, spoilers. My next idea, I want to do a K-37 kitchen at the start of August, and we'll see if Mom and Dad are watching or not with the text that I get from this, maybe. All I want to do for the next K-37 kitchen is rank the best and worst places to reheat a Costco hot dog on the steam engine. And I just want the thumbnail of me grilling a fucking Costco glizzy on the goddamn 20s spark arrestor on top of the stack, and then it being yeeted into the stratosphere by the blower of the first chuff, and one in the blowdown getting thrown across the street. Like, I want all of the stupid shit there.
That's extremely funny.
I want to bring a pack of like 10 or 15 hot dogs, and I want to eat like 2 of them. That's my hope.
I do have to say, just in terms of the actual best place, 25-0 thing, instead of a turret, they just have a big brass casting across the top.
Ooh.
Best place to heat food.
Like, Mark casually inventing the Flugfurter.
The Flugfurter. We have to put the hot dog in the bun, in the blowdown, rip the blowdown, and like slow-mo as slow-mo can get. Watch that get yeeted across 44th Avenue. Anyway, we'll see if the museum says. Good. We'll see if the museum says yes or no to that one. But anyway,
I was gonna say this feels like a good way to not get invited back.
It's fine. It's fine. They can't get rid of me. I'm a cockroach at this point. 75 horse case. Only ever fired coal or wood. It mostly pertains to traction engines and steam shovels. Makes sense. Yeah. For a locomotive, I understand. For those applications, I don't know. Oil might be quite different because the firebox would be so small. But anyway.
Yeah.
Virtual
might not work well in a traction engine.
Yeah, it might genuinely not, because the way the draft would be and the size of the thing and everything. and knowing like, okay, well, what's the service they're in? Where's the fuel? Like, it's obvious why they weren't common, because where's the fuel plenty? You know, oh, you're on a phone. Okay, great. Waste whatever. Virtual Railfan Productions, Fireman 48 months. Happy 4 years, my dude. Good lord, welcome to the new lamp. Speaking of the oil burner, have you heard the rumors that Frisco 1522 is possibly returning to service? I have. She's your hometown locomotive, built 1926, was last ran in 2002. That'd be cool as fuck to see run if they run it again.
We love a mountain.
We love a mountain, and there's very few. Yeah. Good lord, you guys. The top chat still cometh, and I have to pee real bad, so I'm gonna just hand it off to Dan and Tom, and whatever happens, happens. So,
Okay.
we're gonna.
Who's ready to hear the true shape of the Earth?
Okay, I want to know the joke there now.
No, I just joke anytime the floor gets handed off to the people in the room. I'm just like, all right, time for conspiracies. Now let's go through chats here.
Yeah.
If Jersey was here, there would be a lot of questions asking to buy all of his home appliances for some reason.
We can start auctioning off Jersey's home appliances.
Welcome to zbay.com, where we sell off Zach's stuff surreptitiously.
This is a good one. Will we get an oil firing 101 sometime? I would be interested to see that, frankly.
I mean, Mark going to Rainier and oil firing feels like it's a setup to do that, if I had to guess.
Probably. It is one of the things where I feel like you would need to feature at least 2 engines, because
It's not a universal thing, yeah.
there are 2 fundamentally different ways to set up an oil rig. Case did have a factory oil burning setup. That is cool. It makes sense. It is probably very different to a locomotive one.
Also, 75 Worst Case offering to sponsor the purchase of hot dogs and buns for that. Maybe get in touch with Mark for that, but thank you for the offer. Ace Briggs, member for 21 months, says, no, not the Costco hot dog, you promised no more. I am not familiar with this, promising or not, so...
Think people are stupid around railroads. They are completely clueless around traction engines. I bet. Just knowing that traction engines can do all of like 4 miles an hour. Yeah.
Is now when I mentioned that the traction engine that I got to run at the end of the night of filming while they were doing the whole Spark show, that I watched it run out of water and proceeded to slowly walk away with my dad and be like, hey, we should go over there. And then thankfully it didn't blow up because it was a Huber, but that did happen.
Andrew Frame for $5 also says, I'm a big fan of Ed's foamer soaker valves and want to steal that idea. I swear it almost looked like someone got just sprayed with like hot injector overflow at some point for standing like 3 feet away from the track. And the easiest way to not get sprayed with hot injector overflow is to not stand 3 feet from the track.
Correct.
Yeah.
Tom, could you come down like a little lick on your gain?
Yeah.
That's so much better.
Oh,
I will
much better.
let me rebalance my. I will rebalance my audio such that it works for this, because
I'm gonna try and still stay close.
Quiet, so I turned up, and I guess I probably turned up a bit too much.
it was we were getting some authentic Tom Coletti overdrive. It was pretty cool.
It did
in a weird way.
Type shit.
It did get worse over time as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad when it started.
Yeah, that should be a lot better, but goodness. Okay. Yeah. No, there's plenty of videos of them dousing people with steam that is not painful. Like it is not steam that will hurt. Like, honest to God, if you've ever been blown down on before from far enough away, it's just a surprise. It is not. It's not a big deal. Like, if you're 15 feet, if you're a respectful fucking amount away from the right of way, It actually condenses so fast that the water usually hits you, and
Yes.
it's mostly like a mist.
Mark,
But
I just had the best idea for a video. Get a slow-mo cam, get a ballistics gel dummy, put it right in front of the blowdown, and see if you could Kalema a guy.
let me put that on the Trello. Let's put that on the Trello. Mythbusters murk a guy with the blowdown.
Yeah. Can the blowdown function as an apple, like a cardiac apple corer?
You know, that's a great. I like where we're going with this. I like this energy.
It would be great for like, hey, railroad safety 101 of like,
Yeah.
here's
Get
all
the
ways
fuck
you could
away
get
from the
fucked
tracks.
up.
Pretty much. All right. I'm gonna pick up where I last left off. If you guys answered any of the top chats, let me know and we can skip them.
Yeah, we looked at
I know you got a couple.
We worked from the end back, so.
Gotcha.
probably
And
in the
but
middle.
if they merit my response, then we'll do whatever. But no
Yeah,
man, too.
there was one about oil firing 101 that would merit your response.
Great. Nowhere Man 260 Brakeman 24 months. Jason from the WINM says hi Hyce. Cheers to 2 years. Cheers to you, my dude. Thank you. Tell Jason hi back as well. Jed Brown 824. Connector 5 months. Thoughts on oil-fired live steam scale locomotives burning off road diesel. I want to build a loco eventually, but I don't want to shovel at that scale. The 340 and the 41, which are 346's sisters, burn diesel. They don't burn fuel oil. They burn diesel. And they ran 340 and the 41 at the DNS, not with tonnage, but with pretty solid trains, and it was fine. So
The burners are really versatile. You can burn almost anything you want. We burned jet fuel for a long time.
you just got to match the fuel flow
Yeah.
to the BTU to what the boiler needs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it's something I probably shouldn't.
oh, it's fine.
It's
probably fine.
Can jet fuel met wood beams?
Well, if you get it leaking on your pilot
Melt-
beam, that would be a bad time.
Melt wood beams? No. Burn wood beams? Yes.
It's true. If you get straight to melting, what is liquid wood? Anyway.
It is a possible thing to do, but it's very difficult.
Thermodynamically,
I mean,
yes.
syrup is a liquid in wood. I don't think it's a liquid wood.
Correct. That's a liquid wood byproduct. Anyway. Nazi 50. Break your back more wood. Break your back and spend more money, coal. Or not break your back, but spend extra money, oil. Someone who's never fired, this is your conclusion from your weird brain. Wood is definitely the most pitching of thing and moving of thing manually.
Mm-hmm.
Coal versus wood these days is probably freaking competitive, actually. Actually, I would say coal's cheaper for us. Getting a cord of wood delivered, people want about $300 a cord. People want about $100 a ton for coal.
Wood could maybe get competitive if you had a hookup.
If you've got your own forest to burn down that's on site, yes, okay, it's cheaper,
Or like if you have a contract with a lumber company.
Right, if you've got that kind of thing.
Says, hey, we get your offcuts.
Yes. I literally had that discussion because I realized I was at Mount Rainier chatting with everyone, and they were talking about wood, getting wood stuff, and I was like, wait, shit, the bass player and the drummer in my band, who are some of my best friends, are owners in a lumber yard. And they're in Seattle. There's maybe chance for synergy here, but I don't know. We'll see if that goes in here. I don't know. I didn't push the subject too hard. I don't know, Andy. Let me know if that's something that's desired. But anyway, yeah. But so if you've got the hookup, yeah, which you're not gonna have like a hookup with coal unless you're like, oh, you're a railroad going in industry. Oil is a lot more money, but yeah, no breaking the back. But the biggest thing to me is that oil is the one that truly gets the live in the moment. You can respond to the demands of the engine as it needs at all times with oil, and you cannot do that with either of the other mediums. You can do it a little bit better with wood, to some extent because it's just not so volatile as coal, but not that much. Not so much to say that you have immediate control over the fire. Not so much to say you could turn the fire off. So, yeah, but decently well said. Trainman 4014, conductor 17 months, Milwaukee Road. Yes. 75 horse case, sounds good. I'll remind you of that. Oh, Lord. You know, let's do that now because you reminded me now. All right. This is long overdue. And this is long overdue for a reason. Let me grab the other related thing as well because it's over here. And Zeus did not totally desert us. He's on the floor getting in my way. Which is his favorite pastime, by the way. Welcome to this modeling stream in which we model nothing, but we have great conversations. It happens. From 75 Horse Case, I have an package. I already know what it is. There's no reveal for me, but there's only a reveal for you guys. And you know, this is all thanks to him. It was his idea that we do this, and it's going to be a video one of these days, and it'll be a very silly, almost pointless video, but it'll be quite a bit of fun. But you know, at the end of the day, a lot of them are pointless, so that's all fine. Speaking of pointless video, while I was in Seattle, I filmed a lot of B-roll with my drone at Inner Bay because they can't own the airspace, so you know, figured I'd do all that. Good Lord. I swear, half of the people who send me things and go, I open it on stream, are like, use a violent amount of tape to watch me work. It's fine. And it's so much. Oh, this is well packed. It should be fine. Good Lord. Surprised Hades hasn't come down at the rustling of paper. Alright, Jishy Poo. There's a new box for you that's open. New box. We'll see if they'll take up on the box. Yeah, you are not letting this one get screwed up in transit. You know, which is appreciated. I've had one model train ruined in transit before, but it was the O-scale big boy that is to the left of me that had literally nothing for packaging materials. And thankfully, all of its parts were readily available still by Lionel. And I had only paid $300 for it on eBay because it was pretty obvious that whoever was selling it had no idea what it was. Which is mildly entertaining that it wasn't a scam that I actually got at it, you know. Sometimes those are the risks you run. Oh my goodness.
The saddest I've ever been is finding a line on a Bowser SP AS616, and then they couldn't find it in the warehouse, and they did refund it to me, but they were like, sorry, we thought we had one, we can't find it now.
That sucks. Okay. I've gotten down to box level. We're here at box level, everyone. This is gonna make for the silliest little YouTube video there ever was one of these days. Oh, those are okay. I was like, can I just take the engine? No, those are pinned in. Okay. Box. Lid. You know, I'm mad at myself that I haven't opened this yet because I really like this engine and I actually really wanted to see it. But I knew that it needed to be important. And I'm glad that you're here, 75 Horse Case. I'm gonna reveal it. With its with what's important to it as well. We're about to have a very silly YouTube showdown one of these days. thanks to 75 Horse Case and Ty Daly. Duck for dinner. Duck for dinner. Ty Daly at my charter gave me this model of the A4, the British dude, and as soon as I talked about needing a Model T1, back when the charter video came out, 75 Horse Case said, "Okay, hold my beer," and bought me this brass model. It's an older import, Alco Models. Made in Japan, Pennsylvania Railroad T1s. It's not a Broadway. It's not anything like it. It's brass. So if I had to guess who's actually going to win the speed race, it's probably going to be the modern Hornby plastic engine over the brass locomotive. But, there's going to be all manner of potential shenanigans afoot and abound. And either way, the gesture, ridiculously appreciated. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I heard my granddad told me stories of riding to work behind Pennsylvania Railroad steam, breaking the speed record. So I've got a personal vested interest in some of the anecdotes on this shit. So anyway,
some of the reports you hear back from Franklin when they were trying to figure out why the poppet valves kept breaking are very interesting.
I would bet. How fast were they running? Oh yeah.
So they said you could do short bursts of 120, but you shouldn't sustain much more than 100.
Oops.
And they found that they were doing sustained, low 120s.
Gee, how fast did they go? Did the S1 do it? Yeah. So
the S1 wouldn't have done the silly 150 thing, but the S1 certainly did very fast.
Yeah, I don't think it actually touched 156 as is claimed, but I think it certainly I think it certainly went very quick, especially having it having the bigger drivers. But anyway,
based on what the PRR was researching and what they concluded the fastest a reciprocating engine could go, 140 may not be unreasonable.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
But there's not a report for that. It's just likely the design target.
Right. Okay. Other top chats from Jed Brown about volumes. We fixed that. Thank you. Mm-hmm. 75 Horse Case. We did that. Ace Briggs. Fireman 21 months. No, not the Costco hot dog. You promised no more. Did I promise no more? I love a Costco glizzy. It's great. 75 Horse Case. Oh my god. YouTube. Why are you going to be that way? 75 Horse Case will sponsor the purchase of the hot dogs and buns for that. Man, that one's going to be the easy one to do. But I see you and I appreciate you. We'll put you in as a sponsor if you really want to. I think I actually have enough frozen extra Costco hot dogs. I just need to go get buns, so I'll bill you for the buns later, I guess. 75 Horse Case did have a factory oil burning setup. I'm not surprised. I'm also not surprised it wasn't common. New IKB, will we get an oil firing 101 sometime? Yes. That would be the aforementioned Mount Rainier things we talked about earlier on stream. Catch the VOD if you didn't see it earlier. PolyBS 223, 500 cigarettes. I've not gotten to that episode of the Orville yet. Natalie and I have been watching through the Orville slowly. Have not gotten to the point we get to. I've seen that GIF of Bordas ordering 500 cigarettes, and I don't know the context. We'll get there. I'm late on media. What can I say? Oregonian Railfan Eagle for 400 joules. Thank you. Raz Grizz Gaming. Love the videos posted in Real Train. CN blows a turbo. Enjoying. Good lord. Thank you. 75 Horse Case. Welcome to Threshing Shows. You may not make it home. Yeah, tracks. Train Artisan. You just got your full send late era caboose, and it is fantastic. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you. Sunny Simpleton. Hey, Mark, is your refrigerator running? I sure hope so. And I will not catch it. AEP817. Check messages from BMEC. Email wants me to do two-factor authorization and isn't sending code. Midnight here. Good night. Has BMEC sent me? Okay, yes. Oh! Hey, look! Oh, well... Okay. Thank you for sending those. Them's is the drawings that I have for the feed valve. They're great. They just don't have any dimensions.
Yeah, that's how it be.
That's how, all the Westinghouse stuff is. So, I mean, they're helpful for proportioning things, but I had those, and using those in pictures and a couple measurements is kind of how you make the whole pie. So, shrug. That's the way it be. I was like, somebody has those? So, anyway. Carton Waffle, you should visit us at the Black Hills Central Road in Hill City, SD. Get to see our 2662T Mali engines. I've always wanted to come up there and see you guys. It's just one of those. I have an existential crisis with travel on this YouTube channel. Everyone wants me to go everywhere, which is great and a great problem to have. The challenge is that few people want to pay me or help me to get places, and getting places is expensive. And and there are now so many people that want me to go so many places that I am overrun with shit that I still need to edit. Oil Burning 101.
That's the other thing.
Oil Burning 101 will come out, and they brought Matt Rainier had their production crew. I didn't have to film anything, which was incredible, and I so appreciate it. And they were so wonderful. They're mailing me a goddamn hard drive with all the footage, so I just plug it in, boom, bang, done, the whole thing. It's gonna be fantastic and easy. Cool. But I'm still gonna have to edit this whole video, which is gonna be a big edit. And I've got 2 more big edits from Pennsylvania that I shot a month ago, and a million more things that I need to shoot, and I need to put out 4-ish videos a week in order to make enough money on YouTube to survive. So it's like, it's the game of how much long time editing time do I have, and how much short time editing time do I have, and how much time do I have to balance all these things. And I am one person, and I'm also tasked with finishing this thing, and at doing the rest of the things that come with being a member of the team, which is ultimately my favorite thing that I get to do. So that's the whole thing. But we'll get there one of these days. So
yeah, out of curiosity, I assume 70 probably has a SP style burner setup.
SP is left open versus right open?
Oh, I more mean with the airflow coming in all around the burner instead of the airflow coming in vertically behind the burner.
I think it's more SP style. I think so.
Okay.
All around the burner. I mean, that sounds vaguely like what I was explained. The only video in which I might have a clue on that is when Chris gave my sacrifice to the locomotive. When I asked about, hey, could I put my microphone on the engine in order to record the chuff sounds, they told me that if it looked like a decoration that she would get really mad and that we couldn't do that. And so that just in case I needed to bring an offering.
You're literally going to feed the steam engine.
And so that is the one shot that I have of the 70 with the door open, and it's ambiguous.
Oh, they don't have a damper in front of the... Or is it just way forward?
It's there is a front damper, and the damper control only runs the front damper,
I more mean like, not a damper. There's a baffle, rather.
Oh, in front of the door?
In front of the door.
Yeah, I guess not.
I've been saying give it the beans.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You're literally going to feed the steam engine.
But yeah, that's how she's set up, and she fired great, honestly. As soon as you understand this is what the locomotive expects of you, it's like, oh, I got it. Cool, great. Anyway.
Yeah.
75 horse case, picture the case, oil burner setup, and pilot's lounge. You know, I try not to go too hard into sidebars here, but for you, my friend, for 75 horse case, we will do that.
It's extremely funny. I would look at... I mean,
Lord.
The picture is silly because of where the tank is. I would open up the drawing.
Oh, Lord. Dan's enjoying it, so therefore it's fucked up.
It is. It's the most traction engine thing you can imagine.
Where is the burner?
It goes straight into where the firebox door used to be.
That is so bass-ackwards. 75.
Uh-huh.
If there was ever bass-ackwards, if there was ever a drawing for bass-ackwards, it is this. You put the burner down here, you don't need all of this shit. But asterisk, I guess, in a traction engine that may not be exhausting and drafting nearly as hard, potentially, because the cylinders are smaller, all the stuff there. Okay, maybe I could see where the design comes from, but my lord, that is just objectively backwards.
It also just doesn't require any modification to the boiler proper.
Yeah, I guess, do the case engines have brake arches in them? I never thought about that. That's neat. That's neat if they do. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, honestly, but that's cool.
Yeah. At any rate, installing some brake arch would be a lot simpler than, putting a port through the front.
True. Poly BS 223. Install jet engine to steam engine. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit. Tracks. Jersey's Home Appliances. Writing this before I forget, but you should react to the video of the John Bull being run for its 150th birthday video because it's insane they did that. That would make for a fun one. Email me that one, please. I'll add it to my list. Nazu50, Holy Duck for Dinner. Also, rest in peace, David McCallum. I regret to not know who David McCallum is off the top of my head. But rest in peace indeed. Gabe, the Lego Builder. Did you know there was once a plane powered by a radial steam engine? No, but why am I not surprised?
The Bessler steam plane. There's film of that. It's lovely.
That's, why am I not surprised that Dan knows anything about it? I'm less surprised about Dan knowing about it than I am about it existing. So, what are you gonna do? That must be neat.
It was quiet enough that you could call down to people on the ground.
That's kind of wild, actually. Did it have the boiler with it, or was it just like a fireless? Was it a fireless airplane, or did it have a firebox?
I think it had a flash boiler. I don't remember.
Oh, wow. Okay. Smiddle, engineer 49 months. Damn, 49 months. Time really flies, even without a pocket watch, or even with a pocket watch. LOL. Yes, indeed. Goodness. Thank you for being an engineer more than 4 years. One of the first ones. Jed Brown 824. No, you did not fix that. Dan is still quiet, and so is Tom now, just not peeking anymore. Well, at least there's that.
Yeah.
We will work on these things.
I'm probably not available that much longer anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're running out of time on stream, and we've modeled roughly part of a brake pivot. So we did model something, and we fixed a wheel. So that'll kind of be that, which is realistically between now and next week, the model's gonna basically get done anyways. So it is what it is.
Ooh, does that mean one of the next ones will be mapping?
Yeah, so Dan, my plan is to map the flat car that people have seen, the car that they haven't seen, as practice, and I'm gonna look up some tutorials and things, and then solicit your feedback, and then get into this one. This is gonna be the bitch and a half, I assume. Do I just need to
it's
pin you
not
down
really
and
any-
ask for help, or?
It's not really any harder. It's just longer.
Okay. If it's the same process and it's just a lot more shit, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well,
know,
it'll
there's stuff to prioritize. I would definitely like.
take space where space is needed, like cab sides and,
Yes,
barrel
I was
and-
more thinking like once you've mapped the flat car,
right.
once you're at a point where you're comfortable with the tools, you know how to unwrap, how to project from the side, everything like that. What I would say is, then you'll want to look at how some of the existing models are mapped to see what we're prioritizing on locomotives and how different parts are laid out.
It's a good shout. I've seen a lot of their texture files as I've edited them, so
yeah,
then I could
start
see.
to make a lot more sense once you've mapped some
Right.
stuff on.
I generally understand the idea, but once I lay it down to it's one of those things I very much need to lay down to paper for myself and see. Okay, what is the pipeline and the process and everything? Okay. Well, I'll do that and kind of get some feedback. I guess, Dan, before you go, we did tease earlier, and then top chats have just, you guys have been so generous tonight. Thank you so much. But no sets of birds. But yeah, we'll survive. We said we would have you critique the oil burning setup as it be. So I guess we should do that before you go, and then we can let you go, and then I can finish out the stream from there. So we've got, this is your door from the NCO engines, but modified to look a little bit like the NCO engines and fit the profile that is the K-37 fire door.
If you'd like, I do have a drawing for an SP door that's a little wider.
Okay. You fucking pieces of shit.
Ask and you shall receive.
I was joking. Alright, fine. Thank you, Iron Train.
But I mean, it's certainly plausible. You can see most of the functioning stuff that there. I noticed it also has the brain. It has the SP standard manifold, which is good. That's what we'd want.
Yeah, from up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DNS engine had a very obviously weldment. Oh lord, although this looks like, I don't know if I scaled it or touched it, but the smooth shade's a little weird on it. But
oh, there's a degree to which the smooth shade will have been weird. Since you're working in 5, you could put weighted normals, which this thing won't have currently.
Gotcha.
And that should help clean that up a little bit.
Let's do that. Weighted normal.
Oh, nope, it made it worse.
If you adjust the geometry, you might be able to fix it.
There's some adjustments that can be made there. It's just because
Get rid of the
it's coming to a point
subdivisions
there.
that are sort of making those tight triangles there. Like, dissolve the edges that are above the
These guys?
horizontal. I guess those you could maybe do as well.
Or these guys?
Those ones, yeah, those. But that's why they were there.
We have moved the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, and welcome to Smooth Shade. Do you just knife in something like here and just call it a day?
Probably.
I mean, that's seems to be the way that I've gotten it to shut up. But then you've got kind of...
Try the weighted normals now, because since there's not a super narrow thing for it to accent.
It is normal. It's weighted normal. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's great, and then we can scale
sharp.
these guys on the X a little bit. Keep sharp.
Oh, no, keep sharp didn't do it. Put it below the edge split, I think. There you go.
Continue that loop. That actually looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of something, but that's a lot better. Yeah. Anyway, Yeah, manifold. There's your blower valve, the line heat valve, blowback valve,
line heater,
atomizer,
blowback.
tank heat, and then the bell ding ding. Honestly, it looks like this is what they did with the fucking 93. Is it was still back there. They repiped it now, and they've repiped the 93. But that was the way they first did it. So
there's space enough for you to reach in there. I like that.
It's honestly kind of hilarious, and it's kind of how she was first set up. It's like you could kick that back and further in it and whatnot, but it's like they kind of didn't, because then all the drains would be all weird. But all the pipes go to where they're supposed to. You've got the fuel preheater and the fuel line and the fuel valve down there.
Okay, yeah, and your quadrant is going right into the fuel valve. That's good.
Right. Yeah, and the quadrant, I couldn't find a nice way for it to live and sit without being slightly uphill. So it slightly matches the backhead taper, which felt like it's like, well, you still just rotate the valve.
Yeah.
Like you rotate the shaft the way it is.
The one thing I might expect as a consequence of that is I wouldn't worry about it personally, but in real life, if you were going to do that, I would maybe expect to see a universal to keep the valve vertical. But
oh, sure. I rotated the valve a little bit. So. But that would make sense. Yeah, do a U-joint or something. Yeah. We got the U-joint and everything, and then the atomizer running down in, and then everything running down in, and then the fire pan on the 37. I mean, the ash pan is such a problem child anyway. I just kind of showed, hey, like, this is where the burner's at. Oh, that little clipping is not sexy. Not at all. But it's like, fine. It's so the fine line of like, you are never going to get to see these details ever. And the way the DNS solved the problem of the fire pan on the 37 is so obviously violently modern and different, that it was like, I shouldn't do anything. So I don't know if I need to do something different or not there, but can probably go into that on a model review. But largely it's like, it's mostly your oil burning setup that was already there, being applied, and then taking in a little taste of the DNS, knowing that, oh, you're going to be sitting in the fireman's seat, and then sitting in the engineer's seat. Oh, they've got you a pressure gauge that's aimed at you as the fireman, and then they've added an additional smaller steam gauge to the edge of the brake gauge cluster, so that you can, oh, there's your steam as the engineer. You don't need to look to the center, and then they centered the oil can shelf. Mm-hmm. You just kind of a faithful thing.
Is bizarre but incredibly cool is the Great Northern, at least on some engines, had a gauge in the very center with
two-faced. I think that's how 700 and the 4449 are, actually.
And that kind of rules.
At least one of those, I've seen those. But this is like, this is how one of these engines that is historic has been kitted out, kind of. Mm-hmm. But in a historic take of it. Like, if the railroad did this rather than the DNS. Like, all of the other stuff, all the frame...
It looks right.
All the frame stuff that would be tied into the coal burning setup have been cut away. So, like, if you take a look at, there's a lot of frame stuff that even the 93 still retains. When you go to the fuel types, okay, you turn it off, you turn this on. Like, the dead grate arrangement right here that they got rid of stupid early, which I haven't even modeled, which I don't even know if we want to model, because I don't know what
you don't know how it would have worked.
I don't know how it would have worked and what we're going to gain from it, but the dead grate at the back that they got rid of before there were any pictures of these fucking engines. that frame piece being there, and then you've got your ash pan and everything and all that, and that goes away the second you talk about the oil burning arrangement, because it's like, oh, this is a...
Yep.
What if it was oil from the start? Not a conversion, but like, what if they made this to burn oil and,
Well,
blah, blah,
even,
blah.
like, you wouldn't keep the... I mean, like, things like that dead grade arrangement probably would still be there on a conversion.
Right. Yeah, like 93 retains these
frame,
couple big things. Yeah, these big tags.
The frame brackets would still be there on a conversion. But, like, there wouldn't be any stuff from the ash pan because...
Right.
What ash pan?
Yeah, the ash pan. The ash pan, which is a goddamn problem of a situation, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a reason that they're terrible. There's no space. Like, there's literally no space for it.
Yeah, so instead you just have a draft pan and it's fine.
Call it a day. Yeah. Yeah, if anyone can find me a picture of a K37 that actually has this dump grate arrangement setup, because the coal burning Ks, and I modeled it as best I could while using as least polys as I could to get the arrangement of, hey, you've got 5 grates at the back run by 1 grate shaker and 4 at the front, so you've got 9 per side with the grate linkage and everything, like all of them in the pan, as terrible as it is, so that you look into there and you see it when you squat down and you look, like, without me modeling all of the cotter pins and all of the arrangement, which would way add to the poly count. I modeled all of that to just so you could like see, like, there's the coal burning arrangements in there.
That was my thought, was like, I of course saw the messages about it.
Don't full detail it.
That seems extra, but then I looked at where it is and it's like, no, if it's up on any kind of film,
when you crouch down, or if you're in an ash pan and you look in there, I mean, it's plain as day in there, and half the time when you're hostling, which we're not simulating, you walk, oh, hi, Jishipu. When you walk up to the engine and you get over here, like,
down and look at it.
You're looking in there and seeing the orange glow, and you're seeing the linkage and everything. So it's like, I wanted to get that little bit of flavor, but it's like, we don't need the cotter pins and all that stuff and all those things and all that, whatever. But the dump grates,
just enough that you can see.
You physically can't see where the linkage would go, and there's no space between the pan and where the dump grate was, because it was 18 grates, 9 per side, and then the 2 dead, we call them now, grates, which were dump grates that theoretically, with a lever built out here, you could push down and raise them up to scoop the crap out, but it just didn't work, and I've not seen a picture of an engine that had something filling that hole. Anyways, shoot me a picture of that if you've got it, but,
Yeah.
Jishipu.
That super early shot of, what is it, 490 being shipped right after it was finished might have it, but it wouldn't inform how it works inside.
There's a picture of 90 and 98, or 97 that are super early. The 90 picture, I don't think is it being shipped. It was 97 that's being pictured. Which might have already been after they had removed all that sort of stuff, because they learned all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is hard to say, but all the fun things. But either way, I'm very happy with how the 3D model is coming out. Dan, getting your feedback on the old burning stuff, very good. We're going to keep working on stuff. We roughed in the brake pivot stuff, because we've got a crazy shenanigan between the actual brake cylinder, the brake pivot slack adjuster, and then the rest of the brake rigging, which is non-existent, which is like the last major thing to do, which may or may not be done. Thanks. May or may not be done by next week. We shall see. But that's like one of the few things in between me and finishing this model, implementation-wise. With all that said, I've been streaming for a little bit. Dan's got to go. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you. Have a good evening. We will catch you around again. I've got top chats to rock on with here, so we're gonna pick up on those, and we're gonna get out of here. So let's take a look-see. my god, Gigi Poo, you're so freaking cute. I need to clear off my entire desk so that he doesn't just wreck everything that he gets to sit on, or aka so he has more space. Maybe I need to leave him cameras so that he can sit on, but it's fine. Yeah, let's see. We talked to Jed Brown about sound things. Yeah. Andrew Frame, 70 doesn't have room under the cab floor to vent out the fire door, so she just vents into the cab, which is why she can't legally have a curtain. Makes sense. That's why I've also took a lot of footage of her doing the flame poppies to get better reference close up of another engine doing the flame poppies, because we did a bunch of them for SP18, but 18 was very particular and different than the other ones, and so it was kind of cool to see that and feel that in real time and know that it's just a thing that happens. I think that was my favorite piece of feedback from Nate, which was just the most railroad thing of like, hey, it's gonna make popping sounds, okay, and it's gonna make popping sounds that are gonna be kind of like dull and thumpy and hollow. Okay? If it does that, your fuel's too low. Or way too high, but you'll see it at the stack. Okay? You know? And then the one time I'm firing and he's just like, hey, bump the valve up a bit. I was like, oh, is that the thing? Because I'd been hearing the fire just sitting there like spitting flames out the door like the whole damn time. And it was slightly different. Not enough that I had picked up on the difference, but it had done enough of that. And he was like, hey, oh, okay. Bumped it up a notch and it was fine. So oil is very cool. So, you know, it comes with a lot of stuff, which, yeah. Does she vent into the cab? Yeah, and that's flame poops. All that good stuff. Flame poops of the train variety, not of the burrito variety. 403 guy, not to push too much, but come to Kansas sometime. The Far Future Great Plains Transport Museum is a neat little museum. Same for the stuff in Abilene. Been to Abilene. Volunteered with them. I didn't volunteer with them. I subcontracted for a group that worked with them. Helped out. And I wrote in the, for the Great Plains Transportation Museum, I wrote that into Torp News for this week. Sad to hear the vandalism that went on. But goodness, it was cool seeing stuff at Abilene, and I gotta go back out there when 3415's running again. I've got unfinished business. I gotta see that engine run. I gotta run that engine. Gotta fire that engine. Something. So. Nezu50 played Dr. Mallard on NCIS. They even showed off a model of Mallard twice. It's very good. New IKB, why didn't any U.S. roads publicly code for the record? Surely the prestige/shrinking timetable would be worth the FRA being mad till they accept the new engineering. Really, FRA overcautious in places. We didn't have the FRA then. We had the ICC. And most of the roads weren't really concerned with records. They were just concerned with doing business, I guess. Not a lot of good business. It's just good business. Not a lot of roads really worked towards records of any variety back in the day. We were just trying to do the thing and make the money, and that was that. We weren't trying to do that sort of thing. It's interesting that they didn't go for a record and all that. And Penzi, knowing that they had a dynamometer car and everything, it's like, why didn't they do it?
America's big, and we have a lot of stuff that needs to go really long distances. We weren't really in the business of showing off until later.
That's very true. Yeah. We entered our showing off how cool we are era in the 1960s with the space stuff, and left it then. But anyways, that's that's that for now. Anyway, 75 horse case. The regular firebox door is replaced with a sheet metal door for the oil burning attachment. All case boilers can be equipped with the brake arches. Yours still has the nubs from where the studs would have been for the angle iron. Fair enough, if it's just angle iron, it's no big deal. Our brick arches are usually on arch tubes as part of the boiler, or arch brick. You know, you have arch tubes and arch brick and all that stuff, rather than just being affixed to angle. But if, you know, with as small as a box that is, that makes sense. But goodness, the arrangement, not so much. But hey, that's makes the fun between traction stuff and locomotive stuff different. They're all very different in many different ways in terms of use case and size and all that. So, Iron Train, there's the set of birds. Thank you. Very much appreciate you. You're just ready. You got to go on a piece of equipment. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I looked around my monitor and I don't think you're on a piece. You're not on one of my monitors. I'm gonna have to grab a Sharpie and we'll get you on something shortly. I was taking apart my PC earlier, rebuilding it, and saw everyone's names on my graphics card and appreciated everybody all over again. But anyway, Gabe, the Lego builder, do I know if you have highly compressed gas, it's cooled down and let expand quickly, it will freeze surroundings to a certain degree? Yeah, that's blowdowns letting off as do. Yeah, like we were talking about. It's thermodynamics. Spittle, I do hope UPS got my gift to the right box for you. Did get a call that said it got delivered to Leighton's P.O. box for you, which was weird. LOL. Yeah, that sounds about right. Leighton is in Peru for the next week or so. But yeah, he probably received some things from me. I haven't figured out my mail situation.
What's he doing in Peru?
Vacation with his wife. For reals. Just doing the thing. His wife does a vacation traveling kind of gig. So they get the opportunity to go places every now and again, and sometimes he gets to go. Oh my god.
That is super cool.
It is super cool. So, Jishipo. Zeus is trying to figure out if he wants to love bite me or if he wants me to pet him more, so it's fine. Let's see. Audrey Console, engineer, 39 months. The hell, I'm catching a stream on a weekday? We are late today, so fair enough. Here's to 39 more months. Also hire you this evening. Wonderful. It's been a great last 6 weeks, honestly. And the past week has been just great. The show was great, and getting back to it's been great too. So all the stuff, all smiles around here, man. Got to tell you, having the right outlook, it's easy to say and it's easy to think like, oh yeah, just think better or just like be more positive, but genuinely understanding and having that realization and applying that amongst everything else has been really nice on my end in the past several weeks. It's been a big uplift, so I'm sure you guys have seen in the content output. So, but it's been good. So good to see Audrey. Micah Whitcomb, hello Hyce. I could use some of your music, or can I use some of your music in a video? Sure, the Railroads Online soundtrack is free game for anyone. Go ahead and use that. Anything else, our distributor might get mad at you. So, Railroads Online soundtrack only for now. Oh, good lord. Zeus ported me all the way to the beginning with his head because he's real smooth brain. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Colonel Cactus, good to see you. Bold of you to assume I'm not going to give the K-37 tummy scritches. See, I assume that people are going to give the K-37 tummy scritches, and I just know that the overlap of people who know what the underside of a K-37 looks like truly, and the overlap of people who will then flip one upside down. It's very small. It's a very, very disconnected Venn diagram. So I go till it makes sense, and if I impress most of my friends at the Durango and Silverton, I generally call that good enough, because that's quite far enough. But this is the way it is. Flows the Drewski, $49.99, fireman 1 month. Well, at this point, I should say good morning, Hyce. Hope you're doing well and have a great, wonderful late night stream. Yeah, we're still nighttime here in Colorado, but we're almost done. But thank you. Thanks for being a fireman 1 month. Catch me outside. You found a post about the CN train caught in the wildfire. Apparently, the crew made it out unharmed by running 3 miles on foot. 1 out of 2. Holy shit. They had cut off the engines, but went back to rescue someone, had to hard couple visibility, and tripped the engines offline. The high rail sent to pick them up caught fire as well. send me all of these things via DM or email or something, and this that would be the greatest reaction story of a minute from now. So, anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for K37. We kind of modeled the locomotive Tuesday. Tuesday. We did make one part and we fixed another, so it counts. But that might be the low water mark on parts made for the week. But we had great conversation, and we had Dan, and we had Wings, Tom, and that yields great conversations that are perhaps more important than the models. And in fact, definitely more important than the models. But the models will come soon enough. So thank you everyone so much for the love and support. Appreciate you very much. We will catch you all next time, whenever that is, at some point. So, all right, everybody, take it easy. Zeus says goodbye as he falls asleep on my keyboard. We'll catch you all next time. Bye.